you try and do, and my dealings with GKs, I sense that's a big emphasis there, is to install that hope within people, and with that really comes strength. Once you get a group of people who have hope and you build that community, you then building strength. With the Philippines Rugby Union, I guess, yeah, this is from our visit. So that's just arriving in Laguna, and our welcome. I guess the first thing with doing a day trip is understand it's hard work. And it's definitely the hardest community project that I've had the pleasure of doing. Previously we've gone in, set a few markers up, asked the kids to run around, throw a football, and it's easy. But this was really getting your hands dirty. We had to shovel, I'd say it was in excess of 15 tonne of dirt into bags and cart them some 300 metres, and you're doing that all day. That was a number of the guys doing that. Some of the guys were laying a slab. Some of the guys were passing that up to obviously lay the bricks. We had to move these pipes, we had to move a whole heap of them up past and over into this corner over there. It's not a holiday, I guess that's the first, and all that was done in 40-degree heat, and humidity. It's just for the wet season. So, some of the players didn't know what they were in for, because as I said previously, we've gone in, worked with the kids, played a game of touch, in and out within an hour and a half. You know, high-fiving, it's all smiling, little kids on the shoulders, all the fun stuff. Yeah, so they didn't really know what they were in for, and I couldn't tell them because I didn't know myself. I didn't know what we were in for. I knew, doing a little bit of research, I knew that this was going to be good for our team, and I knew it was going to be good for the individuals, but I didn't know how good. And it was only afterwards that I realised how good it actually was. To do for our team, but more importantly for these young children and their families. And I mentioned that word of hope. That's what we try and do. Where my first introduction to GK was via my wife's friend, who in 2010 went with a group and did a build, and she came back. And I had an interest with the Philippines because I've been and I'd seen so much and thought, well, I'd like to put back one day. And it just happened to be that this year was our opportunity, because previously we were only ever there in the Philippines for 2 weeks, or 1 week to prepare for a tournament, and then 1 week we'd be off playing the tournament, and then I'd be back in Australia. This year, we qualified to be in the top 5 of Asia, so it was really exciting. It meant a 6-week period in the Philippines. We had a week preparation leading into our Japan game. Then we had a bye before playing Hong Kong, hosting Hong Kong at home. So it worked perfectly for us, because we were able to prepare for Japan, knowing that Japan is so powerful that we're at long odds to beat them, and in the end, probably still at long odds. They put 100 points on us, so it was very, in many instances, if you just looked at the scoreboard, it was very demoralising. So having the bye and right in the middle of the bye was our